Ambassador, thanks so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Good to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming in.
Good to see you again.
Let's talk about the wildfires. We've heard from the president. He's chimed in. He says we're holding Canada responsible for the fact that they're not properly maintaining their forest. He's threatening additional tariffs. Is that the position of the administration, that there are going to be additional tariffs on Canada because of the wildfires?
I think what the president is clearly doing is he's pointing out how significant this problem is to the United States right now. Detroit, Chicago, D.C., and New York are like the top 4 most polluted cities in the world today. My home state, Michigan, it's kind of like we're the bullseye right now. If you take a look at the map, it's like, from Thunder Bay, it goes straight south through the UP, it goes straight down through the Lower Peninsula, it goes over my house, and that. This is a big issue in the United States. It's a big issue in Canada. We don't deny that. Okay, we know that Canada wants to get these wildfires under control. I think in British Columbia there was a tragic loss of a firefighter, destruction of property, these types of things. It's a call to action, and we need to get this addressed. On the U.S. side, we've got 183 fires right now in Minnesota. My daughter lives in Minnesota, so it's kind of like, okay, a call to action to get this moving forward. But the question is
tariffs, though. That's what the president's threatening here. Tariffs over the wildfires.
Your question is this America's position?
Yes.
The president sets America's position. So that is the position of the president right now. Yes.
How would that work? 232s, how would you possibly put tariffs on Canada because of the wildfires and still be CUSMA compliant? Because I know that's a big thing for you.
Jameson Greer and Howard Lutnick, I think we have lots of options to do things and to impose tariffs and that. What the specific mechanism is, I think the call to action, this is a call to action by the president in saying that there are potential consequences if we don't get to a resolution as to how we are going to be doing and addressing the issue of forest fires and smoke. This is the fourth year in a row where we've experienced these kinds of results in Michigan, and we've got another 6 weeks of firefighting or fire potential at its peak going through the end of July, all of August. Technically, fire season lasts until the end of October or middle of October, so that could be 10 more weeks, but at least 6 weeks of peak activity.
There have been additional tariff threats previously. Go back to the World Series ad from Doug Ford. The president said there was going to be a 10% tariff on Canada. That never came through. Should we actually take this serious, that he's actually serious about these tariffs?
You can take the president serious if you want or not. That's not my call, okay? Not taking the president of the United States serious, you do that at your own risk. Not at, that's not for us to tell you. You make your call.
There's quite a contrast between what I think was a very nice statement that you put out and what the president's put out here. Just a couple of things from what you've said. I commend the outstanding cooperation between the United States and Canada as we confront these fires together. This is a shared challenge and demands a shared response. How do we square the circle from I would say, a very positive and collegial message from you versus the president saying this is willful negligence and becoming a yearly occurrence and costing the United States billions of dollars? You don't seem to be on the same page with the president on this.
Oh, I'm absolutely. I work for the president. We're on exactly the same page. I talk about the process in terms of what we have in place. Historically, we have shared our capabilities across the border. Canadian resources going south, our resources going north. We've done all of those types of things. What the president is seeing and is assessing that this is something that could have been addressed and needs to be addressed. And so let's get this done, because I'm getting calls, I just today, from Virginia, around through the Midwest, through Michigan. My daughter, like I said, lives in Minnesota. This is a really huge problem, and in some ways it's maybe not as large as what we've had in the past, but it happened very, very quickly, and it's having a major impact. In Michigan, businesses are closing because they don't feel it's safe for their workers to go into work. Bees are not pollinating, so in some ways, bees. I mean, I didn't know that, but what do you do to sedate
the bees not pollinating and tariffs? I mean, these don't seem to be proportional responses, though, Ambassador.
Directly affecting the American economy, closing businesses, affecting the tourism industry in places like northern Michigan and those types of things. Don't underestimate the economic impact that this is having in the United States today, as well as having an economic impact, and we recognize that in Canada. With so many Canadians living close to the border, we recognize that most of the smoke that is making its way into the United States of America goes above flows above Canadians before it ever gets to the United States.
Do you think Canada has done enough to manage the wildfires?
I think it's time for Americans, Canadians, and we have asked. I've had a lot of conversations with your government officials, and they've been very responsive. I got to tell you that the Prime Minister's office, Ambassador Mark Wiseman, we've had multiple conversations, and I think that one of the things that I've been asking for, and I'm hopefully, I think Mark is working on this, is to bring Canadian officials to potentially testify in front of Congress and potentially testify in state legislatures, or at least come to Congress or to different legislatures and explain the complexity of the problem, because the forest fires in Canada are different than what we experience in the United States, in that many of your major fires are nowhere near a population center. It is difficult to get firefighters on the ground. These are not typically places where you harvest timber because it's just wild territory. If you're 300 miles north of Calgary or Edmonton, you're in the middle, we're not insulting Canada, but you're in the middle of nowhere.
Not a lot of people around, for sure.
There's not a lot of people around or a lot of resources, and it's very difficult to fly planes up there to drop water or retardant on them to control the fires. But we want to start the dialogue, get the attention, so that a more comprehensive strategy. I don't know what we're going to do this year, how you're going to get them under control, but what we want to do is we want to make, we don't want to make this a persistent problem. 4 years in a row is 3 too many. We've experienced this now. Let's develop a strategy. Let's apply the resources so that in 2027, we're not sitting across the table from each other one more time saying, oh, God, here we are again. Let's fix this.
Did they agree to come testify? Is that
not yet? I mean, Mark's been...
Positive response, though?
He's looking at it. The PMO's office is looking at it and trying to figure out exactly how it happens. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have the right environment and the right format so that there's actually information sharing rather than people yelling at each other. Because I can tell you there's a high level of frustration probably on both sides of the border in terms of how Americans are reacting to this and how Canadians may be reacting to how we're reacting to it.
World Cup final, Sunday in New Jersey. Is there concerns about that game being played considering the wildfires?
FIFA is evaluating that as we speak.
Is that a consideration for the president? I know he's very excited to go to the game. Is that a part of the rationale here?
Well, the president is going to want to have the right thing happen. If the pollution is so bad that it's dangerous to the players or it's dangerous to the fans, the first person to say don't hold the game will be the president of the United States. We're not going to jeopardize the health and well-being of the players or from people around the world, by sending them to a game that is in unsafe conditions. The amazing thing about FIFA, we're into this now for a month, maybe a little bit more. It has worked almost flawlessly. In Canada, the border crossings between Canada and the United States, there was concern, are we going to be able to handle this between Vancouver and Seattle? It has worked perfectly. It's worked extremely well between the U.S. and Mexico. So FIFA has been a phenomenal success around cooperation And now just as we get to the end of it and call it a world-class success, we run into this problem. And we're not blaming, we're not getting into this, but blaming who for what, but it obviously for the weekend it will be a concern.
The president is blaming Canada, though, Ambassador. He puts this out. He says there's going to be tariffs. He is blaming Canada for the situation that's happening in the U.S. right now.
No, the president is saying, I'm holding Canada accountable. We need to fix this.